welcome to the Saturday Night Swirl with your host, Roadrunner89. Hope you enjoy. All right, how's everybody doing? Happy Saturday night. Welcome to tonight's show. I got a good show for you guys tonight. I'm going to go over some things. I'm going to talk about, tonight I'm going to talk about swirling. And I'm going to talk about it from our part of the swirl and then the other side of the swirl. Okay? And the topics I'm bringing up, I feel is very important. Okay, we're going to talk about swirl love, right? Beautiful thing. I'm down with the swirl as long as it leads to investment. Okay. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about black women, white men relationships. Okay, we're also going to talk about the Becky Spade Brigade. Yeah. And then we're going to talk about the Tinder Tyroni Phony. Okay. And what is Tinder Tyroni? Okay, you remember in the 80s, I think Bobby Brown came up with the term Tinderoni. Well, this is the male version, the Tinder Tyroni. Okay. Tyroni wants to be he wants to be the prize. He wants the black woman to hold him down and treat him like that special princess. I mean prince. Okay, and I'm going to explain what that is. Okay, and the Becky Spade Brigade. We're going to go into that too. Okay, and why am I talking about these groups? Okay. The reason is we can learn from these groups, okay? Especially young people that want to open up their options and so they don't swirl for the wrong reasons, okay? That they can do it for love and swirl because that's who they want to be with and eventually take their swirl to investment, okay? Not swirl out of lust, swirling for the hookup. No, I don't promote none of that stuff, okay? But we're going to look at some groups, okay? And I'm going to explain why I'm highlighting this. Because we can learn in life by other people's mistakes, okay? People's bad choices, okay? Always observe, know what's going on, okay? It's not about being nosy. It's just like, okay, yeah, they made a mistake. I don't think I want to go that route. That type thing, right? Okay. And that's why I'm going to be talking about this stuff. And anyway, but I got some slides I'm going to show you. And we're going to talk about swirl love, okay? And we're going to talk about some red flags to look out for. You know, you have to vet, but more so than vet, you have to have your standards, okay? Because we could vet, you know, all day. We could vet till the cows come home, okay? There are good liars out there. There are people that will tell us what we want to know, right, in life. But if we have our standards, okay, this is key. This is how you get the dust out of your life, okay? The dusty dumplings, what I call the quick hitters that, you know, that go for you for lust. They want to live out their fantasy quick. They want to, you know, go in and exploit you and then bounce. Okay. But if you hold up to your standards, you know, they'll get frustrated and leave and try to find an easier victim. Okay. And this can go for men and women. Okay. We all have to have our standards. All right. Now I got some new slides I'm going to show you, and I got, you know, a couple slides I've shown before. And I want to get to my points. I'm going to go into the slides, and then I'm going to show you some videos. Okay? Okay. In the swirl world, okay? And that's what we're living in. Okay? And swirling is something that's happening more and more every day. Eventually, we will be a mixed race nation. Okay? Black people and white people that you see today in the future will be mixed race. It's going to happen. And I see no problem in it. I think it's a beautiful thing. And if we're dating and marrying for who loves us and celebrates us, we're eventually all going to open up our options, okay? Um, and some people fear that. Some people fear the unknown. Some people fear that, oh my God, we're not going to look like our grandparents. White people are like, we're disappearing. And then black people, oh my God, our grandkids are going to be white passing. What do we do? Okay. Just calm down. Okay. Man is always evolving. Okay. This is our nation, our home, and we're going to come together, like it or not. Integration really isn't a choice. Okay. It's a natural thing that's going to happen. People are going to be attracted to people of different racial and ethnic groups. Okay. It just is what it is. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that at all. As long as you find true love. That's what it's about. Okay. First of all, I'm going to talk about when it comes to the swirling world, and ladies, black women, if you're opening up your options to white men, Asian men, Hispanic, whatever, okay? The kind of man you want is what I call the investor, okay? You don't want to just get with a swirler. All that means is they like to swirl. Does that mean they like to get married? Does that mean they want a family? Not always, not necessarily, okay? And you got to be careful of those fence riding swirlers, okay? Ladies, what you want is an investor. And what I call the investor is someone that opens up his options because he wants to be with you. The investor is a man that embraces who he is, okay? But the investor loves black women, okay? And I'm going to explain what that is. And I got this slide here. Let me take that fair use off real quick, okay? Okay. Okay, here's the investor, okay? All right, the investor, a white man or non-black man. That can be white, Asian, Hispanic, anything, right? A non-black man, okay? Who loves black women and takes his interracial dating to marriage. The investor is not looking for a hookup. The investor isn't looking to fulfill a sexual fantasy or his lust. He's looking for a wife. He's looking to make that investment, which marriage is the most important investment you'll ever make. Okay? And there, number two, there are two types of investors. Okay? The investor at birth and the investor later on in life. And let me explain. Some of us are meant to invest in the black woman. We've been chosen by destiny or by God, and that's what we're supposed to do. We were born to open up our options. Okay. The investor at birth, and you'll find these investors at birth, you know who they are, because as a child, they'll have a connection to black women. They'll grow up loving black women from a baby to a teenager to a man. Okay? Something's going on spiritually there. Okay? The investor later on in life is somebody that don't date out, but later on in life, he gets to know a black woman and falls in love and sees the beauty and sees the qualities of a black woman and the black woman's character, and he'll fall in love. Thus, he'll become an investor later on in life. Okay? Number three, a black woman who loves a white man or non-black men, okay, and takes her interracial dating to marriage is also an investor, okay? Black women are investors too, okay? And like I said, swirl to investment means you're taking your interracial dating to marriage. Okay? That's what an investor is. Number four. Okay, hold on a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Number four. Okay. Number three. Okay, I went over number three, the black woman. Okay, women are investors too. It's not just the men. Okay, and what that means is you're investing in the one you love. Okay, number four, black women, white men. Okay, and this is the truth, have the most successful marriages, the lowest divorce rates. Okay. And that's what makes Swirl to investment a beautiful thing between black women and white men. We're having success with that. Okay. And here's something that says something about a black woman's character. Okay. This is the truth. Did you know black men do better with black women than any other group of women on the planet with marriage? That's true. Did you also know white men do better with black women than any other group of women on the planet? So if black men and white men are the most successful in marriage with black women, it's not what it says about us men, it's what it says about black women. It's what shows the character in black women. Because we say black women are the most race loyal, right? Okay? And yeah, that's true. But then again, what the real truth is black women are the most love loyal. Okay? Because when we marry black women, okay, we're going to get the same black woman that the black man gets. Okay? The woman that will be there for you, that will always have your back, that will love you more than anything. The only problem is the man has to pour into the black woman. He has to be a man, and he has to do what's right as a man. Okay, and then the men that love black women and do right are the men that are the most blessed. Okay, but let that sink in. If black men are better off with black women and white men are better off with black women, what's that say about a black woman's character? Black women are not the problem. It's the men that are the problem in today's society. I'm just saying, okay? And you can do the research on the numbers, and you'll find out what I'm saying is true, okay? But ladies, if you're going to open up your options, you want an investor, okay? You don't want somebody that's just down with a swirl. People swirl for different reasons. Some swirl to see what it's like. Some swirl because they're lustful. Some swirl to, because they fantasize. They have a fantasy. Okay? And then there's those of us that swirl for love, for marriage. We are the investor. Okay? And ladies, you want the investor. Because he'll love you more than anything in the world. He'll put you first. Okay. All right. Now that we talked about the investor, okay, we know what the investor is. We know what swirl to investment is. And anybody new to my channel, swirl to investment means interracial dating to marriage. Okay. And the reason I say investment is because marriage is the most important investment you'll ever make. Okay, a good marriage can make you better than what you are. A good marriage can uplift you. A good marriage can make you a better man and a better woman, right? It takes two to make a marriage work, but it only takes one to destroy it. Okay, so you really want to take that serious. You always want to take dating and marriage seriously, because that can affect your life, either in a really positive or negative way. Okay? For men and women of whatever the race they are. Okay? I'm just saying. And here in America, in our country, we want marriages to last. We want people to have good marriages, whether they're two black people, two white people, interracial couples, it don't matter. I want to see marriages work. I want us all to be successful within marriage, who we choose to be with. It's better for us individually. It's better for our families. It's better for our community. It's better for our nation. Okay? Okay. All right. Now that I talked about that. Okay. Now, let's talk about how can we make a good interracial connection. People ask me all the time. Black women, white men say, black women will say, well, where are the white men at that love black women? Where do I go to find these men, Roadrunner? What do I do? Okay, and the white men will say, hey, where are the black women at? Where do I find them? How do I know they're interested in white men? Because all I see is black women complaining about white men, and I don't think they really like us, and all this nonsense. Okay, don't listen to one person. Okay, one individual cannot speak for a whole community. Okay, there are black women that want to be race loyal. There are black women that want to open up their options, just like there are white men that go both ways with that, race loyal or interracial. Okay, and and look, there's somebody for everybody. Okay, yes, and in the interracial world too. You want to date any woman of any race, you can. Ladies, you can do. Okay, it's up to you. But where do you go to meet these people? Okay, you got to think about it. You got to make your own plan. You got to be strategic. Don't wait for somebody to make it happen for you. Okay, and here in this slide, okay, how to make a interracial love connection. Okay, number one, location. Are you where the people you want to date are? Okay, if you're in an all-black community and you're a black woman, you need to get out of that community to open up your options. Same thing with white men. If all you see is white people and no black women, but you love black women, you might have to, be strategic and find a location where black women are. Okay? And truth be told, black women are in every community. So a lot of times you don't even have to leave your community. Okay, number two, events. What kind of events are going on? Okay, sporting events. Okay, events in your city or town that might be going on. Local events. Events in your local church. And your place of employment. I know a lot of times. Employers will create events or special dinners or something where employees can come together and have some cohesion. Okay, that's a way. You got to be sociable. Okay, to open up your options. Number three, I think is the best option, in my opinion. Friendship circles. Okay, who are your friends that you hang out with? Okay. Black women, I'd say you got a woman at work, a white woman that's a friend of yours, hang out with her a little bit. You don't have to be her bestie and all that. But if you're into white men, her brother's a white man, her cousins are white men, her friends are white men. You get where I'm coming from, right? Okay. Use your resources. Okay, it's just like looking for a job. Okay, you want to be out there where people can see you, can see your beauty, can see the qualities you have. All right, and I guarantee in a group of white men, half of them at least are interested in black women, more than that. But I'm just saying. Okay. Number four, you can use dating apps. I don't know how good that is. I never use dating apps. But that is a way. All right. Number five, I kind of covered this. Work, churches, volunteer work, outdoors, hiking trails. If you go to the outdoors, make sure there's somebody with you for safety in case you twist your ankle or you don't want to be alone out in the woods. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and then, standards, vetting, background checks. Do all that, ladies, especially ladies. Okay, get to know the family and friends. Okay, this is part of the dating process. Okay, and who you date, you probably want to match up this faith, morals, goals. Okay, if you're a traditional woman, you want a traditional marriage, you don't want to get with a modern man. I'm just saying, okay? So you want to find someone that shares your values, your morals, your faith. Okay? Good idea. Okay, but overall, most important thing, protect yourself. Safety first. Never go on a date with anybody at a secluded location. Make sure it's a public place where you can get away if you have to. Okay? You know what I'm saying? What's that? Church is a terrible idea. Black folk, we need to escape the church. It's oppressive and manipulative. Arab religion is not for it. Okay. Well, hey, get with someone that shares those values. Okay. Because you don't want to get with a guy that's all into the church and his faith is everything to him, and you think that's a bad idea. So you know what you want, you know how you are, and you want to match that with who you date and who you're with. Okay? So it's up to you on faith, religion, and all that. Okay? I'm not telling you have to go to a church and I'm just saying it's just ideas, brainstorming. Okay? All right. Let me take this down. Okay, but there are many ways to meet people. Okay? All right. But you open up your options, you're going to be open to ridicule. Okay? There are people that don't like to see interracial relationships, especially black women, white men. Okay? There's some of the things you'll experience by the haters. Okay? All right? This is just a little cartoon illustration. Okay? And I've heard me and my wife have been called these names. Okay? Simp. Okay? There's some pro-black men that think being showing love towards black women or having an emotional connection is being a simp. Okay? And then the other term, bed wench. Okay? It's a derogatory term to shame black women with white men. Okay? And then white trash, that's another one. Okay? And you see the woman at the bottom, black love only. Okay? There are people that are angry that find it offensive that you're interracially dating because they think black love is what black people should practice and practice that only. Okay? So most people aren't going to come at you. Most people don't really care. They're trying to live their own life, but there are haters out there. So just be aware, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Okay. Let me remove that. Okay? But here's the thing. When you go to open up your options, just make sure that person, you know who they are, you get to know them. Okay? Don't be in a rush to date right away. Please get to know that person. Okay? When it comes to love, I've spoken this many times. Okay? Do not go for the physical right out the gate. Though as tempting as it may be, and though we're human beings, men and women are attracted to each other. Okay, we do have those desires. Okay, those physical desires. But there's a time and place for everything. Okay? It's like the analogy I always tell you guys. You got to bake that cake. Don't just come in and eat the frosting. Okay? The frosting might taste good. The frosting might be wonderful. But without the cake, it's going to leave you hungry and it's going to get you sick. Okay? I.e., having physical relations, having sexual relations before you fall in love with each other. Very dangerous, very risky. Okay? Okay, the physical comes with marriage. And I know some people say, no, Roadrunner, I can't do that. But really, that's the way it should be done. You should make sure the love is true before you touch each other, right? I know in the modern world people don't do that, but they should. Just saying, okay? But that's your choice to live your life the way you want to. That's just my advice, okay? All right. But the biggest thing is have your standards. Standards. Okay? And if a man can't stick around, if he can't touch you, well, he don't love you. Okay? A man that loves you will wait. Don't get caught up in thinking because you're dating, you got to be physical. No, you don't. Okay? And the reason I harp on that so much is because I see people, and I've seen people through time. And it's a common thing for men and women to date and sleep with each other right away. And then we wonder why our relationships don't last, our marriages don't last, because we haven't established our love yet. We haven't baked that cake. We went for the icing. Though it was fulfilling for a short period of time, it didn't cure the hunger. It only makes us sick. But if you're healthy, you got to have the cake. You got to have the friendship. You got to have the emotional connection. You got to have the spiritual connection. Physical is last. That's when the love becomes true. Okay? All right, I'll stop preaching. Okay? But look at this. Okay? Black women, white men are the least to come together in interracial relationships, but we have the strongest marriages. We have the lowest divorce rate. We lead the way. And you know what? We want quality over quantity. We want to find that special person, have a good marriage, and have the marriage last. That's the key. It don't matter how many are opening up their options. It don't matter the numbers. It matters the character of who you're dating. And that's why for me, I could see black women were the best option. Okay? Black women were not the easiest option, but they are the best option. Black women have the most character. So for me, it didn't matter how many black women were into me or any of that stuff. What mattered is I find the black woman that has character, has love, the one that I could build with. And believe it or not, there are plenty of black women that feel the same way you do, that want to open up their options too. Do not be afraid. Okay? Take your shot. Approach her. Okay? If you don't take your shot, your failure rate is at 100%. Just remember that. You don't take your shot, you're a failure. Now, you might get turned down, but at least you stepped up to the plate. Know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to risk failure. Failure is part of life. And when I say failure, I mean rejection. Okay? Don't be afraid of rejection. Rejection is a part of life. Not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to be attracted to you. And that's okay. Right? Rejection at times is protection. Just saying. But you guys, you got to take your shot. Don't be afraid. Okay. Now that I covered the swirl love, okay, we know where we're at. We know those of us that open up our options, you know what I'm talking about. We've had to fight the good fight. We've had to deal with haters. Sometimes the haters are in our friendship circles. Sometimes the haters are in our family. Okay, but we love who we're married to more than anything in the world. Most important person in your family is your wife or husband, right? It should be. And if it's not, you need to check yourself. Just saying. Okay. Now, what should I cover next? The Tinder Tyroni or the Becky Spade Brigade? Okay. And the reason I'm covering these groups, okay, observe what people do. See the red flags. Because I guarantee what black men and white women are doing, there are black women and white men doing the same thing. It's why you got to keep your eyes open. It's why you have to have your standards. Okay? All right. Let's go over the Becky Spade Brigade. Okay? This here's a slide I made. Okay? This here's the Becky Spade Brigade. That's what I call them. Okay? The Queen of Spades. Okay? And what this group is, okay, it's white women that prefer black men. Okay? And they prefer black men sexually. Okay? There's a little definition here, but there's more to it. And I'll talk about it. Queen of Spades, the playing card symbol, usually a queen above or inside. Okay. And the opponents, white women with sexual preference for black men. Okay. A Queen of Spades is a white woman that prefers black men sexually. Okay. They'll have tattoos of the Ace of Spades. And it's a way of signaling black women that are black men that they're available. Okay. You've heard about the Queen of Spades. And there's a counter called the Queen of Hearts, which is the black woman version that's sexually attracted to white men. Okay. I don't promote any group that just goes with each other based just on sexual connection. Okay. I'm about swirl to investment. Okay. But this group, and there are white women that get tattoos with the Queen of Spades to signal to black men that they're available and they're interested. Okay. Now, I have no problem with white women being interested in black men. That's great and wonderful. Okay. But, you know, just to go for sexual reasons and that's it, sounds a little bit fetishization. And do you really love that person if it's just based on sex? Okay. All right. That's what I call it, the Becky Spade Brigade. Becky Spade. The BS Brigade. Becky Spade Brigade. Okay. And let me show you some tattoos of some of these women that will put on their body. Okay. And this is sexually explicit. Okay. All right. You see the Spade, the BBC horror. I mean, wow. Nothing says fetishization more than these tattoos. Okay. And I'm not going to say what BBC is. You know what it is. Okay. And that's what these white women are looking for. Okay. And you see the crown with the spade in there. Okay. Women will have these actual tattoos on their body. All right. And sometimes they'll use jewelry with the spade, the Queen of Spade. And it's a form of signaling black women that they're available, or black men that they're available. Black women, what am I saying? No, that's a lesbian thing. But no, these are to symbolize to let black men know they're interested sexually. Okay, this is all about sex. That's who they prefer. They're not saying they want to date black men because they love black. They're saying they want to have sex with them. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, now some of the women in that group, I'm sure there's probably some that want to marry the black man, but a lot of this is based on sexual connections, fetishization, and it's funny how white women won't be called out on fetishization with tattoos like this, but us white men, God forbid, we say we love black women or we say black women are beautiful, we're instantly labeled fetishizer. We're instantly labeled, lustful and all this stuff. But somehow Becky gets away with it. Okay. Anyway, but this is, and I've known about this group for a while. I've never run into people that, well, I don't hang around white women, so why would I? But they're out there, okay? And they have videos out there that promote this. And I'm going to show you guys a few of them, okay? Now, those of us white men and black women, we don't need to have no movement like this. We need to be pure with our love, take our swirl to investment. Okay, the physical comes later with marriage, with true love. Okay, you get caught up in lust, it's going to be devastating to you and your partner. Okay, just saying. Okay, so you know what the Becky Spade Brigade is, right? Becky Spade is one of my new Dusty Dumpling characters. Okay, but what leads to black men getting with the Becky Spade Brigade? Okay, what leads to that? Okay, because not all white women that date black men are, will wear those tattoos. Some, their feelings are legit. They just are attracted to black men and want the black husband. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I support that. I want everybody that swirls to take it to investment. Let me make that clear. Okay? But when you go in with the physical, with the lust, 9 times out of 10, your relationship is doomed to fail. Okay? Now, there is an exception to the rules. Sometimes people lust after each other and fall in love. It works out, but that is very rare, very uncommon. Get it right the first time. Just saying. Okay, what leads to black men connecting with Becky Spade Brigade? First, it leads bowling for Becky's. What is bowling for Becky's? Okay, it's a black man's desire, his quest to date white women. Okay, he's looking to date plenty of black or white women, a lot of them, getting a high body count, soaring his royal oats, and feeding his ego. Okay, that's what I call bowling for Becky's. Is a black man married to a white woman bowling for Becky's? No. He's invested in the white woman if he did it the right way, right? Bowling for Becky's is having relationships with multiple white women, sleeping with white women, going for a high body count. That's bowling for Becky's. Okay? That's what it is. Now, okay, people can do what they want to do. It's up to them. Okay, but if it don't work out, okay, what happens? Okay, a lot of black women that find out black men have been with white women don't want to date that black man. Okay, the black women that are in the black men, a lot of them like, hey, whoa, no. Well, it's the same thing with white men. They find out that Becky that they're dating dated a black man, there's going to be problems. White men don't want to date white women that have been with black men. And you might say, why is that? It's a trust thing. Okay? Tyroni will say, yeah, well, he can't compete with a black man, so he won't do it. That's what. No, it ain't that at all. Because white men will date black women that have only been with black men day and night till the cows come home. Don't care about that. They'll even adopt the black woman's black children. Okay? Because he understands the black woman comes from the black community. That's what she does. She dates black men. So there's no problem there. Okay? But it's a trust thing because let me tell you, a lot of white women that go for the black man, they make it perfectly clear that's their preference. That's all they want. And they'll trash white men, and white men see that. So when they come back, it's like, no, you're going to have to deal with that Becky return policy. Go to a lower value white man. Your value is not what it used to be. And I don't mean to be mean with it. You know what I mean? But that's real life how it is. And I'm seeing black women staying away from black men that have been with white women. Okay? Now, for us white men, is there a return policy for us? Hell no. We do what the hell we want. And I'm not saying we just got it like that, but we really do. But we never come back. When we open up our options, we stay with the black woman, even if we're in a relationship that don't work. So we're not even trying to come back to the white community. But if we did, Becky would take us in a heartbeat and be the award-winning mother to our biracial children. Okay? And you know what? Black women got it that way too. Just saying. But we usually don't go back. Okay? There's always an exception to the rule, but mostly no. Okay, what is a Becky return policy, you might add? Okay, and let me explain what that is. Okay. All right, the Becky return policy. Most white men don't want to date and marry white women who have had past relationships with black men. The white man believes that the white woman that have relationship with black men first believes that the black men are their true love. Okay? The white woman returning to the white community after a failed relationship with a black man, okay, and this is true, usually struggles with hurt and pain, has trouble readjusting, okay, she does. And her biracial children also struggle. Why is that? And let me give you my opinion. Because biracial children that come from a black woman, white man, adapt a lot better in the white community than biracial children from a black man, white woman. And you say, why is that? It should be the same. Well, you would think so, but you know, the white man that's with a black woman ain't trying to insert the white man. We're not trying to get our biracial kids to be pro-white. Okay? Maybe back in Jim Crow days it was like that, but not today. But when the father's black and the mother's white, they tend to have that black worshiping culture, you might say, where they kind of put the black man on a pedestal. And that can have problems readjusting. Okay? Biracial children, we don't need to teach them to be black or white. We need to get them to embrace who they are. Okay, biracial is beautiful. Okay, just like a white person, black person is beautiful. Okay, we got to teach them that so they don't have issues. Many times, white women get the same black man with worse results than black women. That is true statistically. Okay, white women. Now, I'm not saying there ain't good black guys out there. There is that diamond in the rough, that unicorn every now and then. They're out there, but majority, they get the same. Us white men get the same black woman, the loving, the nurturing, the one that puts us above herself. Okay. Now, I'm not saying one's better than the other because we're all human, but the choices we make in life. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, but that's the Becky return policy. Okay, and I never really understood it till I learned about it. And you say, dang, Road Runner, how did you not know about this? You come from the white community. Yes, I do. but I dated black women exclusively. I'm married to a black woman. So I never dated Becky. I just never did. Never had a desire to. Call me weird, call me whatever you want. I don't care. And it wasn't done out of hate, by no means. But if you never date one, you don't understand the Becky return policy. You just don't have feelings about that. But I know it exists because I've learned about it. It's amazing. When all your love and energy goes to black women, you miss some stuff in your community, and that's okay. Okay? I just chose a different path than most people. All right? All right, let's show some videos of these Becky Spade Brigade women. Okay? These are the true Becky Spades. Okay? Let's hear some of this. And I'm not going to go in and trash them, but I want, this is a learning thing. Do not interracially date out of lust. Okay? Don't go for the physical first. It will destroy you and who you're with. Okay? Okay. I'm going to show you some of these ladies. Okay? Now, it's their choice to be with black men. Nothing wrong with that. I wish they would do it for love and take their swirl to investment, not go into lust. I just... Anyway, but that's none of my business. But we're going to learn from that. Let's watch this video.
Queen of Spades.
Okay, it says, are you a queen of spades? This is a queen of spade. This is a Becky Spade here. Let's hear what she has to say.
Are you a queen of spades?
No to white boys. Say no to all of them. Doesn't matter what it is. No. Can I have a cup of water? No. Can I have some of the... No. Can I have some sugar? No. Can I have some sex? No. See, the whole point is to be black only. But if you're like me and you live in a predominantly white area, that means you just give up sex completely. But that's okay. Better than having sex with white boys.
Okay. Well, if it comes to white boys, white men, it's no, no, no. Oh, okay. She don't need to be in the white community. She needs to go where Tyroni is and live her best life. Okay? But you can see some kind of hate, right? And just listen to how these white women, when they open up their options, how they talk about the white community, white men. Now listen to a white man that opens up his options to black women. Us white men, we don't go and attack Becky. We don't. Most of us don't. We just go with the black woman because that's who we love. Okay? I don't attack white women. I'll say it's no to white women, no sex, no water, no food. I don't do that stupid shit. That's just corny as hell. I mean, if you love the black man, go be with him. How about you give a video on how much you love the black man? How about you give a video on how the black man uplifted your life and made you better? Where's that video? We're waiting. So are they opening up for love, or is it out of spite, out of rebellion, out of hate? Because see, for me, I don't hate white women. I don't want to deny white women anything. I just love black women. But when you do it out of love, when you talk about it, it's a lot different. And that's the key. This is a red flag. Even a black man that's in the white women, it might be attracted to her. He needs to be careful. Because does she really love the black man, or is she kind of some self-hate type thing? Or is she just lusting after black men? I'm just saying, really, I don't care, but I'm just pointing this out. Okay. Now, ladies, if you ever get a white man that talks like this lady, says, "Oh, I hate Becky, and white women are trash and garbage," and if a white man talks like that, ladies, run from him, get away from him. Don't give him the time of day. But if a white man says, "Well, yeah, I love black women. Hey, black women have been a true blessing to me, and I just love them. They're beautiful. They're amazing." And if he shows love, but he's not bashing Becky, that's probably a good man. Okay? Because we don't have to bash people because we have a preference. But Becky does it. Tyrone does it. You ever notice that? I'm just saying. Just an observation. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading the tea leaves wrong, but it just seems real cringy and just hateful. And why do you got to make that statement? How about you show love to the men that you have? That is your preference. That would be more. Where are those videos? Anyway, okay, enough of that. All right. Now I'll show you 2 more videos, okay? And then I'm going to go to the Tinder Tyronis, the Tinder Tyroni phonies after this. All right, here's another Becky Spade.
Hi.
Okay, now she's Queen of Spades all the way. You can tell. You see her tattoos. There's some spades in there. Okay, let's listen.
Hi, this is Jessie. So I came up with an idea for a good first video. I'm constantly asked all the time what my tattoos mean, what the Queen of Spades mean. I have over 30 tattoos and about 15 of them are Queen of Spades or snow bunnies. So what it actually means is a white girl who likes to date black guys. I've been doing this again for about 25 years. There are a lot of other white girls like me that like this. Most don't get it tattooed all over their body, but I kind of like it. I like the, I guess, free advertising. So that's what it means. You can look it up on, Google it. That's exactly what it means. So just wanted to let everybody know.
Okay. Oh, yeah, let me stop this. Okay. All right. So you see, she kind of explained it. Now, this woman, okay, she didn't bash nobody. She said, "Oh, I get it. That's what I'm into." And she seems happy about it. And hey, it's more positive. You see where it's positive? Now, here's my opinion on this. You don't have to get a tattoo to be with a black man. Look, lady, all you got to do is just go be with a black man. But if you want to do the tattoo thing, that's up to you. But what I will say is the Queen of Spades thing, it's not a good look. It really isn't. Because you're looked at as a fetishizer. You're looked at as being lustful. And it is disrespectful to black men if you really look at it. Because what they're saying is it's all about the lust. And that's all they're talking about. So is that all you see in the black man is just body parts and sex? I'm just saying. And and if she gets with a black man that wants the relationship, that falls in love, he's going to ask, is it just about the physical? Where most black men, their egos, oh yeah, something. And what's crazy is a lot of black men love to be fetishized, but somehow they get pissed off if they think a white man's fetishizing black women. Go figure. But anyway, But this ain't a good look. It's not. You don't have to get tattoos to interracially date. You really don't. And what's that say? It gives an image that it's all about lust. It's all about sex, the bedroom. Nobody's really talking about a husband, a father. Just saying. I'm just saying. But this video was better than the other one. It's more positive, and she didn't bash nobody, so that's cool. You like black men, do you? And no harm, no foul. Everybody has a right to be with who they want to be with. Okay, so I just say that with that video. Okay, I'm going to show one more real quick. Okay, and I'm not going to show all of this because this one's kind of long, but I'm going to shorten it. Okay.
Hi, and welcome back.
Okay, this is another Becky Spade. That's why I call him Queen of Spades. She's in the black men. She's going to do like a question and answer thing. But this is educational, okay? And black women don't be like these white women, okay? I'm just saying. And I'm not trying to bash them, but you don't have to get tattoos to love on a white guy. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's listen.
Hi, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a long demanded one. I'm diving into a Q&A session on being a QoS, where I'll be answering your questions. So get comfortable and let's get into it. And remember, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you will never miss a video. Right, let's get started. So I wanted to actually start by saying I get asked to talk on this subject often, but appreciate it's a very difficult subject to approach. I'm really hoping that I can navigate this subject respectfully. I am really not wishing to cause any offence to anybody. So let's break down this topic before getting into some of your questions. Let's start with the definition of the term QoS. So it's an abbreviation of Queen of Spades, and it signifies a woman's sexual preference for black men. This is often indicated by a tattoo or a symbol of a Queen of Spades, such as my necklace or the tattoo on my wrist. I am very aware that the word spade is a racial slur, which adds a whole lot of extra difficulty in navigating this topic. I hope that the context the word is being used in makes it clear that the term is not meant in a derogatory way and is not intended to cause any offence. I'd honestly really love for a new term to be coined that is much more respectful. I'd also quickly like to address some of the...
Okay, I got a new... How about Becky for the homies? I don't know. She wants a new term. Okay, why'd you get the tattoos if you don't like the derogatory term? I'm just saying. How about you just love black men and don't be part of any group or cult? And look, you can express your love for black men. You can let them know you love them. You don't have to mark your body to show it, but if you want to, that's up to you.
The other interpretations of the term, mostly for context and awareness. It's often argued that the swinging community coined the term QoS. The women in the swinging world are often still in relationships with white guys, often married to a white guy, whereas for me personally, I am not attracted to white men at all, and I really struggle to relate to the women that are married to white guys that also claim to have a preference for black guys. Like, it just doesn't...
Okay, let me stop. Did you hear that? She's saying that some of these women that are Queen of Spades are married to white men and having affairs with black men. Wow. Hmm. This is just show. This is a video telling white men get away from white women. This is a video that, oh my God, and and I don't doubt there's women like that. Look, white women can be. Don't get me started. I got to be respectful. But there are a lot of evil white women that will do some crap like this. Not all. Don't get me wrong. Not all. There are good white women, but wow. So there are married women into this cult, this Queen of Spade thing. Wow. Let's continue.
Doesn't commute for me, so my definition varies from some other people's definition, and I also find some parts of the community have brought with it, in some cases, some fetishization of black men. In all honesty, it makes my blood boil when I see people refer to black guys as BBC, as if that's all they are. Like, yes, they may.
Okay, well, here's my problem with that. If you don't like that term, and that makes your blood boil because they're being fetishized, why do you have a Queen of Spade tattoo? That's my question. Because that's what it represents. Because there are women that belong to this group that have BBC tattooed to their butt or to their chest. And you know it's fetishization. You know it's sexual lust. And you don't like it, but you belong to the group. You got a Spade tattoo, lady? That's like saying, that's like belonging to the clan and saying, oh, they're peaceful now, but I hate what they did in the past. You still belong to the group. You still belong. How about you just, look, you can... You know, cut ties with the group and still love black men. How about you search for the black man that wants a family, that don't want just the sexual hookup? How about that? How about you search for that? I don't know, but you're offended, but you belong to the group. You don't have the BBC because it offends you because you don't want black men to be fetishized. But you're actually contributing to the fetishization? Why do you have a spade? I don't know. I love black women, but I'm not getting tattoos on my body to signal to them. I mean, I dated black women and I married a black woman. Voila. I never had to belong to some group and get tattoos. That's weird. And you know what? They say there's like a counter to it, but I haven't seen it. I don't see black women running around getting tattoos of white, signaling the white guys. I don't. And maybe they're out there. People say they are out there, but I never seen it. And if they are, I hope they stop, because this is weird. This is like male worshiping. And you know, I don't want to see women worship black men or white men or any men. Don't do it. Anyway, let's continue. I might cut it off here soon.
They have a BBC, but they are much more than that. So they are a whole human. It's also ridiculous that people assume all black men have big dicks, which is absolutely not where I'm coming from. I do have a preference for black alpha males that are hung, but that is not to say that all black men are like that. So for the last decade...
Yeah, but they will argue with you and say, no, we all are. That's a stereotype black men embrace. But what's funny is if they can't live up to it, broken hearts. But why are you even talking about that? You should be talking about how you love black men and leave it at that. You know, but I'm going to cut it off from here. I'm just giving you guys an idea. and she's trying to have a moral part to it, like I don't like the fetishization. She likes black men, but you got the spade and you belong to the group. And most of the group are women that sleep around with black men. I'm just look. And though you might not do that, you belong to it. Like I said, it's like a clan member that just wants to be segregated and he's peaceful now. He don't like what the clan did back in the day, but he's still a member. So he's still part of the evil. You understand what I'm saying? So being part of this Becky Spade Brigade, you still part of the group. Okay? It's like being part of a crime group. You might not be the one stealing the cars, but you still fund it. You still support them. So you're still part of the problem. Okay? If you want to get rid of that fetishization, don't belong to that group. Okay? I'm just saying. But do what you want. Anyway, let me remove this. But look, guys, I seen this stuff and I'm like, wow. Look, there are plenty of black men that will go for white women at a drop of a hat. You don't have to signal a tattoo. You don't have to put BBC on on your body to let them know you're interested. You don't. It just the weirdest thing. It's just crazy. Like, and it don't give a good image to white women. It makes white women look horrible. Like they're just in it for lust, that they're fetishizers. And us white men, we get blamed for being fetishizers, but Becky can go do this stuff and it's like nothing to see here. And you see black men fetishizing white women, but nothing to see here. I guess it's only wrong if a white man does. Or if a white man says he loves black women. Then we're just thrown in that category. But anyway. Oh, I want to show you this video real quick. Okay? Speaking of swirling, okay? This is a black woman that's encouraging black women to not just be with black men. And then a black woman comes on and you know her. I think she's Kendra G. She's all for the black men. Okay, which, that's their business. But I want you to see this video real quick.
Not date out of their race enough, and God, please release my sisters from the shackle of only dating black men. I feel like it's time for us to explore our options. It's way more of life to see, way more experiences to
Kendra G is a black male worshiper. You know what? You're goddamn right. I am a black male worshiper. I'm a good man, black male worshiper.
Look, she's even got the pick me shirt. She says she's a good black male worshiper. See that? Got the pick me shirt. Why do you gotta worship a man? Why can't you just love the man? I don't get that. But anyway, let's continue.
And I have been through a lot of shit, trust and believe, with black men. And let me be clear, good black men. And I know several of them, and they should be worshiped, reign supreme. So if you want to say Kendra G is a black male worshiper, you're goddamn right I am, because I'm a black woman. What else should I be worshiping?
You say that you love you some white men.
I love me a white
man. And I gotta know, like,
it only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chick.
Oh my God, we had a hot mess. Had the doctor of delusion reign in. Okay, first of all, the Kendra G thing. Why do you gotta worship a man? Can't you just love the man? I don't get that. I love black women, but I don't worship them. I worship God. I mean, we shouldn't worship people, period. Okay? If your preference is is what your preference is. But when you start worshiping men, that's going to be dangerous. Ladies, don't do it. Don't worship the black man. Don't worship the white man. Don't worship the Asian man. Don't worship men. Men are flawed. You start worshiping them, it won't end up good. Okay? Today's man has a problem with his ego. You start worshiping him like he's a god, it's going to make it worse. Don't do it, ladies. I don't care what your preference is. Don't worship men. Won't end well. But wow, she didn't have to pick me. Wow. And she worshiped. She says they need to be worshipped. Wow. Okay, we know where Kendra G stands. All right. But to each his own. Okay. Okay, I did the bowling for Becky's. I'm going to get rid of some of these slides I already shown you. You guys know what the Becky Spade is, right? Becky Spade Brigade, that's what I call them. An army of Becky's worshiping black men. They're just like Kendra G. They're pick-me's too. The Queen of Spades are pick-me's. They worship black men, just like Kendra G. Okay? You know, some of these white women trying to act moral, like, no, I don't like the fetishization, but I still get the tattoos and still belong to the group that fetishizes black men. But, okay. I get it. All right. All right. Now, let me show you the 3 characters before I go to the other videos, the 3 new characters to the Dusty Dumpling Gang, okay, or the Beta Dumpling Gang, however you want to put it, okay? First, we got Becky Spade, or Becky Spade Brigade, okay? Congratulations, Becky Spade, you've been added to the Dusty Dumpling Gang, all right? All right, next we got the Passport Pick-Me Boys, right? Passport Pick-Me Boys looking for love overseas, looking for that traditional wife they can't afford. You know, a lot of these guys are bottom of the barrel, thinking they're going to find paradise overseas. Okay, they bought into a fantasy that all they got to do is get their passport, and all their troubles are gone. Okay, and there's some cartoon pictures I put up there. Okay, not all these men are the top-notch men. Okay, and they can't see that they're just everyday guys. You know I'm an everyday guy, so I would never buy into this fantasy BS. Okay, but a lot of them go over, and maybe they didn't have good relations with the women in America, and they probably just needed to improve themselves. Some are older guys, old men being with young ladies because it's easy overseas because you got money. It's just a recipe for disaster. And then they get caught up in the overseas sex trade. That's not good. Those women are exploited. You don't need to contribute to that. You want a traditional wife? We have it here in America. Okay? And what blows my mind is how come these black passport bros aren't going to Africa? Because from what I've seen and from what I know about African women, and look, before I even entertain being with someone overseas, I'd have to know them thoroughly. And they would have to be at the same income level as me. But I think African women would probably be a better choice than the other groups of women, because African women are very traditional. They're very loving women. But still, you're a rich man. I'm just saying. Okay, if you're going to find a wife overseas, it's probably best that you live there and become part of the community and be with the same economic level. Okay, just saying. That's my advice. Take it, leave it. I don't care. Okay. Okay. So those are the group. Now, what I'm going to go into now is the Tinder Tyroni phonies. Okay. Now, these are the Tinder Tyroni phonies. Get it? I.e., Tyroni, a Tinderoni, a Tinder Tyroni. Okay. And these are what some of these Tinder Tyronis look like. Okay. You know, here you got the everyday black man, the guy in the suit. That's like your Kevin Samuels type. The high value man, telling women they need to date and marry down. You got this white guy. He's a Tyroni too. He's one of these vanilla thug boys. Okay. He loves being part of the culture, but he's a Tinder Tyroni too. He also, believes in the same things. And then you got this hip hop guy, right? Kind of got some feminine energy with his jewelry. Looks like he's got some makeup on, kind of like a P. Diddy vibe, But the Tinder Tyroni phony, okay? And this is what the Tinder Tyroni phony believes. He believes he's high value and views himself as the prize, okay? And every other culture, the woman is the prize. The woman is a treasure. But a lot of times the black community, the black man's the prize, the treasure, okay? And they believe that. Okay, I kind of misspelled that word. I left out the V. He believes. Oh man, I totally messed that up. I was typing too quick. All right, but what the Tinder Tyroni believes that black women should settle or lower their standards. Okay, the Tinder Tyroni believes. Okay, that he's high value. He believes that the black woman should settle for him, lower her standards to meet him. Okay, totally into 50-50 that turns into 70-30 a lot of times. Okay, he's the prize, he's the treasure, he's the little princess, little prince. Okay, and it's an ideology that it is trying to put the black man in the leadership while the black woman does all the work and the man gets the credit. Okay? And, they'll tell you that, they're tough, they're not simps, and they'll go into men that show love and respect for black women. But the thing of it is they got to be taken care of. Okay, and one of the Tinder Tyroni phonies I didn't put up there is the cornstarch conscious Tinder Tyroni. Okay, like the Umar Johnson that lives off black women's donations, lives off the black woman. Okay, but we'll get into that. Okay, so the Tinder Tyroni phony is another member of the Dusty Dumpling Gang. And yes, a Tinder Tyroni phony can be a white guy. Okay, a powdered donut dusty, vanilla thug boy. You know what I'm talking about, right? Same ideology. The white guy that wants to be the black man. Just saying. Okay. Let me pull that down. Okay. I'm just getting rid of some of these slides. But those are your new Dusty Dumpling characters. Okay? And if you watch videos and social media, you'll find these characters. You will. You'll be like, dang, Roadrunner's right. That guy does fit that description. Okay? Okay. Now, here's my message to, okay, the Tinder Tyronis and the Becky Spade Brigade. Okay, because a lot of times the Tinder Tyronis love Becky Spades. Okay, you ever watch that Kevin Samuels video where those white women are taking courses to get to know the black man and his culture? Okay, yeah. That was Tinder Tyronis getting with the Snow Bunny, the Becky Spades. You know what I'm talking about. That's what they were doing. Okay? But listen to this woman. This is what this lustful movement will lead to.
Women chose welfare over you.
Okay, not that one. I didn't want that one.
BD rates are skyrocketing.
Okay, sorry. Listen to what she says. And before you engage in open sexual activity, fulfilling your lust.
The STD rates are skyrocketing. You guys better not be acting on all of your urges. You better be safe. I keep seeing the warnings from the professionals that work in the medical field saying the HIV transmission rates are skyrocketing. Don't act on all your urges. Be safe and
right? And that's true. Sexual transmitted diseases is on the rise. Okay, HIV is going up. You can play around with sexual behavior with multiple people, but be warned. A lot of diseases going around. Okay? Here's one thing about marriage that's a beautiful thing. Marriage is protection. If you got a man and woman that love each other and they do it biblically, forsake all, they're not going to get diseases. They're not going to have to deal with sexual transmitted diseases. They're not going to have to deal with lust because they're doing it the right way. Okay? This is what I love about marriage. Marriage is protection. Marriage is a beautiful thing. The only bad thing about marriage, guys, is that when two people are married, one's got to watch the other one pass away later on in life. That's a sad part about marriage. Other than that, marriage is the most beautiful thing ever. I thank God I got married. I thank God for my wife, Sandy. I don't have to deal with this crap, dating multiple people and worried about... No. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is protection. But diseases are out there. Okay? And then she says this other video. Okay? You know how they said welfare took the black man out of the home? Right? They say that all the time. I want you to hear this lady's analogy on this. This is her saying it, not me, but anyway. Uh-oh, it's not playing. Hold on, I'm fixing the sound.
If black women chose welfare over you, that means welfare was providing more than you were. If black women chose welfare over you, that means welfare was providing more than you were.
Oh, what'd she say?
If black women chose welfare over you, that means welfare was providing more than you were.
Well, ouch. So what she's saying, if a black woman chose welfare over you, that means welfare provided more than you did. Oh my God, that hurts. Wow. What do you think? Okay, people say that. They say welfare, it was a ploy to get the black man out of the home, to destroy the black family. And here's my opinion on that. Okay? And here's the deal. And back in the day, there was a problem with that. And I'm sure there were plenty of people that said, okay, they were struggling in poverty and said, well, we'll just have a relationship, let the woman get the welfare, and do like a common law thing, right? I'm sure that did happen. That's probably what they're talking about. But what also happened back in the day, there were a lot of men shacking up with black women that weren't the children's father. And that happens to this day. We call them welfare pimps, right? They find a woman that's on government assistance, that has Section 8 housing. They shack up with her, they move in with her and live off her resources. And that was happening a lot back in the day. We're not going to talk about that because it don't feed the narrative. But that's exactly what was happening. And the taxpayer was felt some kind of way because they didn't want to pay for a woman and her children to have some guy living off her and her children's benefits, right? Yeah. Oh, hey, Alex. Yeah, sorry I'm not attracted to the white women who puts black women. Yeah, that's right. I feel you, brother. There's no need to put the black woman down. There's not. But I'm telling you, that's what was happening. A lot of men were living with single black women that had children that weren't their children. Okay? And they were catching on to that. And people are going to say, oh, no, that's wrong. They just want to destroy the black family, so they bribed the black woman with welfare money. No. Okay? It wasn't designed for that. Now, some cases it might have broken up the family because there's more money from welfare than the man could provide. Sure. But I think what happened is it was good intentions, but sometimes it did go bad. Okay. But we have people living on women on welfare all the time. Okay. So that's really what created that issue where the social worker would go through the apartment and check to make sure there were no men living in there. And it wasn't to keep the husband out. It was to keep these men that were living off these women on welfare, these single mothers. Okay? Anyway, agree, disagree, whatever. Okay? But man, what she said was, that hurt. If she chose welfare over you, it's because welfare provided more. Wow. And you know what? I'm sure there were families women that turned welfare down to stay with their husband that had less money too. Anyway, hey, let's listen to the good Dr. Umar. Anybody ready for him? He's going to give you some good advice. But let me tell you, okay, I must warn you, there's some profanity, there's some sexual explicit content. You know how he is. He's a top tier fetishizer. Okay, he's a pro fetishizer. He never gets called out on it, but that's what he does. All right, let's listen to him real quick.
Has a personality.
He's talking about a woman's private parts, okay? All right, and I must warn you, it's kind of graphic, okay? But I want to show you how stupid this guy is, how much of a fetishizer he is, how much of an ass clown he is. Okay, let's hear it.
Because your vagina has a personality of her own. Your vagina has a personality of her own. And your vagina is an extension of your unconscious. The black woman's vagina is an extension of your unconscious. It is an extension of the mysteries of the woman. And you have to reverence and protect your vagina. Because in protecting your vagina, you protect your mind. A man who has had access to your vagina, he has access to your mind. He ain't just sexing your vagina, he's sexing your mind. Repair your cookie jar. Don't be running around here with no loosey-goosey, my sisters. Don't be letting these brothers turn your divine womb into a loosey-goosey shack. Value your womb. Value your womb, sister. Value your womb.
Okay. Now, here's my thing. What he could have said is, he could have said, look, black women, listen, ladies, protect yourself. Okay? Don't give your body to a man that isn't married to you, that don't love you. Protect your body. Okay? You don't want to have a soul tie because that can be devastating. He didn't have to talk about her body part. He didn't have to go into the cookie jar analogy. But that's how he thinks. He thinks about what's between a woman's legs. He thinks about the 5'5" thick in the thighs. He's always thinking sexually. Okay? And look, this guy never married the women he laid down with. He's got like 3 kids from 3 different women. He tries to give us moral advice. Look, ladies, don't do this. Your divine womb, and but he don't practice what he preaches. He goes around pumping and dumping women, black women. But yet he has audacity to tell black people to stay race loyal and don't mess with white people. But he can't even protect and provide for the black women he lays down with. Serious. Reporting live from his mama's house. Yeah. This is ridiculous. Everything they talk about, sex, yeah. You can tell a woman, hey, protect yourself, protect your womb. You don't have to talk about her body parts, and you don't even have to refer to that. Just say, hey, ladies, don't have sex till marriage. Don't let men take advantage of you. Your body is like a temple, and protect it. That's clean. That's respectful. I'm just saying, he's giving off fetishization. And why nobody ever calls him out. But a white man like me, married to a black woman for over 31 years, never been with other women or had children with other women, but yet I'm a fetishizer? How so? Anyway, it just blows my mind. And why this dude even has any credibility with any people is beyond me. Why people still support this clown, I don't get it. And this joker thinks he's like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. He puts himself on that level. He's not there. He's an ass clown that lives off black women. He exploits black women. When it comes to finances, when it comes to sexual behavior, he totally exploits black women. This guy is a predator. Really, he is. But people still support him. The conscious community. Really? Yeah, and still no school. That school ain't never going to come. That's a... And what would they even teach? How to pump and dump 101? How to talk about women's body parts? I mean, would he have a 5'5" thick in the thigh course? I mean, seriously. And here's the thing. And his school name is stupid. It don't make no sense. Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey were 2 different people. 2 totally different ideologies. Frederick Douglass was an abolitionist. Frederick Douglass believed in black and white people uniting. He believed black people were better off in America, where Marcus Garvey believed in black people getting on a boat and going back to Africa. So why would you even name your school that? Frederick Douglass would never buy off into your ideology. It's just stupid. Does he even study history and what these people said or stood for? I'm just saying. Anyway, that's Let's just get this joker off here. Okay. All right. Yeah, women still give that joker donations. It blows my mind. I don't even know. Okay, now I got a treat. Okay, this last video is a woman that's part of the pro-black community. I think she's one of these Hebrew Israelites. She goes by the name of Miss Christ. Okay, she believes she's a prophet. Yeah, Marcus Garvey never made it to Africa, but felt black people should go back there. I don't know. But anyway, okay, and she's pretty upset talking about black people. And I think it's because black people are not doing what she wants black people to do. Okay, and I know you guys seen this lady on TikTok. Yeah. She seems kind of crazy, but and she's one of these black only white people are the devil types. Okay, let me add this real quick.
How you can tell that this whole
Okay, she just looks like she's mad, right? Just throw the whole generation TF away, the F away. Okay, she's mad at the generation. Let's hear what she has to say.
Y'all know how you can tell that this whole entire generation is trash? Because we don't even care about the fact that we have not accomplished one single thing since the Civil Rights Act was passed in 1965. Us as a whole, our people, our generation, we have not fought for and accomplished anything at all besides being social media famous, besides getting clout on social media, besides making money off of videos and off of going viral. We have not accomplished anything for the betterment of our people, and we don't even care. We don't even feel bad about it. We don't even feel bad that we're going to die and leave our children and our grandchildren to be back in the position that our ancestors were in. We don't even care about it. We have no dignity, no class, no pride. We are trash, and we don't even care. I feel sorry for y'all. Y'all are embarrassing, and you deserve every single thing that you get.
Oh, wow. Okay, here, watching this video, here's where I think she's going, okay? She's pissed off, okay, at today's generation. Why? Because not all black people are buying off on her pro-black Hebrew Israelite BS, okay? A lot of black people are just living their life. They ain't got time for this craziness. In fact, not. And here's the thing. I hear these pro-blacks say, oh, we're going to unite and defeat the white man and do all this. No. Nothing like that is ever going to happen. Black and white people are going to come together with interracial marriages. Okay, they're going to procreate more and more every day. So generations down the line, we're going to be fused together. I call it the Swirl fusion. Okay, Swirl fusion. And take it from Captain Swirl, aka Roadrunner 89. Telling you, get ready to be part of my family, young lady. Get ready. Because we're going to be together. It's God's will. It's prophecy. You cannot stop it. The best thing you can do is learn to love each other and not separate ourselves based on skin tone. How about that? And that's why you're pissed, because the world ain't going the way you want to. We're not going back to segregation. Those days are done. It's over. Okay? So welcome to the American family. Welcome to the Swirl family. It's growing day by day as we speak. Your grandchildren will be with my grandchildren together. Let that sink in and embrace it. Okay? She always says Black power forever or whatever. How about American power forever? Welcome to the family. Okay. That's the best way to piss those people off. Okay? Is tell them, hey, we're coming together. We're going to be one community, one nation. Okay? It's going to happen. And it's happening more and more every day. And look, and black men and white women are leading the way in this. Tender Tyronis are coming out. They're bowling for Becky's. They're doing it. The Becky Spade Brigade is coming out. They got their target set. They're looking for that tender Tyroni. Becky Spade's on a mission. Telling you. Yeah, they're swirling a lot faster than we are. It's just we're trying to teach them to swirl the right way. Swirl to investment. But they don't seem to listen. They got to be part of tattoo groups and, have these lust fests and have these, what are they trying to do with this stuff? I mean, Tyrone is the biggest swirler ever. So these black dudes that get mad at black women swirling, yeah, whatever. You swirl more than anybody. In fact, you were fighting the Supreme Court way before Loving versus Virginia. You wanted that white woman. Yeah. You wanted that Queen of Spade, didn't you? Mm-hmm. And now you got her. And you know what? It's part of the plan. It's part of the agenda. So, and you know what? Hey, I just wish you would build back a better swirl. I wish Tyrone and Becky would swirl better. Build back that better swirl. Swirl to investment. Quit messing around. If that's what you want. If you want to be race loyal, do that, but do it right. Okay? Telling you, and don't get mad. Okay? Pro-blacks, listen to me. Don't get mad. Look, your kids, your grandkids are going to be white passing them. I'm just letting you know it's okay. My children and grandchildren are going to be darker than me. That's okay. We're in this together. Embrace each other. Swirl to investment. That's truly how we make America great. It's we all come together. Okay? I don't need to throw on a Trump hat to make America great. I need to swirl to investment. Huh? And look, the swirl is real. It's happening. It's happening in every religious group in America. It's happening in both political parties. Huh? It's happening across the board. You can't stop it. Okay? So you white nationalists, you black nationalists trying to live in the past, that's over now. It's over. Embrace what we got now. It's going to be a better world. Okay? If we do it right. But the thing of it is, yeah, you're right. Black men are mad at black women for swirling, but black women do it a lot more often. I'm just saying. Anyway, okay. Guys, I just want to make this video, and I want to just show you where we're at in the swirl community. Because yes, Becky and Tyrone are part of our swirling community. They're on the other side of the swirl, okay? But the world's going that way, okay? And here's the deal. You have a choice when you swirl. You can swirl to lust or investment, okay? Becky Spade is just thinking about lust, okay? The tender Tyroni is thinking about how many Beckys he can get He's bowling for Becky's. He's not thinking. Okay? They're caught up in the lust. That's only going to destroy. Yep. Even J.D. Vance, married to an Indian woman. Yes. I'm telling you, it don't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, they're swirling. They're swirling. It don't matter your religion, they're swirling. And look, Christianity, if you really study Christianity, it promotes swirling. Okay? It says once we're born into Christ, we're the same, whether Jew, Gentile, rich, poor, it don't matter. We're part of the same family. So Christianity is actually integration. There's no separation in it. You're supposed to give everybody the gospel, and you're supposed to bring them in the family of God. And don't quote those verses. Well, God told the Israelites to stay away from those other people. Yeah, because they weren't right with God. It wasn't about race. It's about where their heart was, who they worshipped. Okay? Now, if they're all worshiping God, God wouldn't have a problem. And there are several interracial marriages in the Bible that God allowed, that God blessed. So don't give me that crap. And really, if you really study Christianity, and if you're really living by the Bible like a Christian should, you would not be segregating yourself based on race. Yeah, you don't interact with the world, non-believers, yes. But if they're believers, it don't matter their skin tone or where they come from. You're part of the family of God. I'm just putting that out there. Because people don't understand, or they just want to believe what they want. Okay? What's that? With the richest man in the world helping to preserve whiteness in the administration, I'm not sure. Okay. I don't know. Look, it don't matter who's preserving or what. People are going to open up their options. Okay? They're already doing it. Look, they our country tried to segregate and tried to have the pure white race, and what happened to that? They can't stop the swirl. It don't matter how powerful and rich they are, they can't do it. I'm telling you. It's God's will we come together, but we come together in faith. Okay? Our skin tone don't matter. We're one nation. Okay? But anyway, we came from the same place anyway. We're all descendants of Adam and Eve. We're all sons of Noah. You can trace every continent on earth to Noah's 3 sons. Middle Eastern man, the Jews, that was Shem, right? Egyptians, Africans, Ham. Europeans, Asians, Japheth. Come on. It's all there. But they were all brothers from the same mother and father. And that just proves that we're not different races. We're all the same race. We're the human race. Anyway, okay. All right. Let me get off of that real quick. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. I want this to be a learning experience, okay? This wasn't to come on and bash Becky Spade, okay? I think Becky Spade's crazy, but it's a learning thing. Observation. Okay? Seeing where these people's mindsets are. Why do they swirl? And then you look at the pro-blacks, they're worshiping black men. Why is that? Why is Kendra G preaching worship black men? I mean, she could do that, but we're not supposed to worship people. You worship God. We love people. Don't worship them. My wife loves me with all her heart, but she don't worship me because I'm a man. I'm flawed. I'm not no God. Okay? My wife is the most beautiful woman on earth, most loving, but I don't sit there and worship her. I do love her with all my heart. I give my life for her in a split second. No questions asked. You know what I'm saying? So don't worship people. People are human. People are flawed. Look, Kendrick G could love black men without worshiping them. I mean, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure by saying you worship them. They're going to exploit you. I'm just saying. Don't delete this live video. No, I'm not going to delete it. I deleted the other one because it created such controversy and so many people are so upset and caught in their feelings. And I didn't mean it to be that way, but I just said, you know what? And yeah, no, this live is not getting deleted at all. Okay? Don't worry about this. I think this was a good live. I enjoyed it. Look, and I think this is stuff we got to look at. Okay? You know? And we can learn from that. And younger people can learn from that. You know? What are Becky and Tyrone doing? I mean, observe. Why are their marriages not lasting? But black women, white men marriages are. It's because we're making different choices. You think the Queen of Spades and the tender Tyroni coming together is going last? No, because it's about lust. It's about fetishization. And the most ironic thing is us white men get blamed with fetishization, but black men and white women do it the most. I'm like, come on. But see, accountability is the key to success. And who's held accountable the most? The black woman and the white man. Think about it. We are the leaders in our community. We have to make things happen. Okay? Our communities depend on us like no other. So when black women and white men get together, we just automatically hit the ground running. So of course we're going to be more successful. You don't see black women getting tattoos lusting after white men like that. You don't. And thank God they're not doing it. Okay? You know? I mean, black women that are with white men, most of the time they're with white men because they love who they're with. They got together strategically for love, marriage, family. And us white guys that open up our options, we're doing it for that. For love, marriage, family. I mean, not all, there's some corrupt black women, white men, yes. But for the most part, we're winning. We're making things happen. And instead of people hating us, they need to learn from us. Because I tell you what, I learned from them. And I've always loved black women, and I learned and figured out what black women love, what black women are into. What makes black women happy. I observe, I learn. But when you're put on a pedestal in your community, black men, white women, okay, and you're pretty much taken care of, sometimes you're not held accountable like you should be. And that's what leads to bad decisions. That's what leads to lust instead of love. These white women can go and express that they love black men without tattooing their bodies, without worshiping black men. They can just love them, but they don't. Why? And most of the time, it's all about the physical. Look, we're all physically attracted to each other. I've always been physically attracted to black women, but I come to understand that the black woman's value is what's in her heart and her character. Now, the sexual part, the physical, that comes in marriage. That just makes the love, better. It's the frosting on the cake, right? But you need the whole cake. And that's what I'm trying to explain here. And that's why I'm showing you these videos. This is a learning tool. Okay? I observe people. Why do they do what they do? And if you interracially date because you hate the group you come from, most of the time your relationship's not going to work because you're not doing it for love. You're doing it out of spite. You're doing it out of rebellion. You're doing it because you think it's better over there, but you don't love who's over there. But a man that truly loves the woman he's with, he's focused on her. He's not thinking about other women. And ladies, observe that. If you're with a white guy and he's loving on you and you're his everything, you got it. But if he's complaining about Becky and his last girlfriend, well, you probably need to, let him go elsewhere. I'm just saying. And same thing, white men. If you're with a black woman and all she does is talk about Tyrone and did this and did that, and her last boyfriend didn't do this, and she probably still in love with her boyfriend and not really into you. Okay? I'm just saying. Observations. Okay? Observe. Life is an education. And you do that, you can look for the quality women that you want to be with. And that's what I learned the hard way. Thank God I figured it out, because if I didn't, I don't know where I'd go or where I'd be right now. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's live. But observe what's going on, okay? And because if you see what Becky's doing, okay, the craziness she's doing, and you see the white guy doing something like Becky's doing, because there are white men that act like that, then you can find the red flags, okay? A man that loves you, a white man that loves black women ain't worried about what Becky's doing. He's not. He don't care. Okay? But just by watching these videos, I'm learning something here. I kind of figuring out why black men and white women marriages don't last. It's because they're going into the relationship with lust. They're putting the physical before all other areas of love. And that's why it don't work. They're eating the frosting before they bake the cake. And they're sick. It don't work. You need the cake to fulfill your appetite. Did I hear about Venus Williams? Oh, her marriage? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I talked about that on a couple shows back. Yeah, is that what you're talking about, or did something else go on? I know she recently got married. And I know some people were upset about that because she didn't choose the black man, but oh well. It's her life, her choice. there's groups of men complaining about women wanting Chad and Tyrone. Yeah, I'm sure there are, but I haven't watched none of them. Who's Chad and Tyrone? The white complaining about women wanting white men and black men? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, kind of still got a cold. Guys, I hope you have a good Saturday night. And I thank you guys for being part of this show. But look, if you're going to open up your options, ladies and gentlemen, be cautious. Know who you're dating. Have your standards. Never compromise your standards. Okay? We can vet all day till the cows come home, but people can lie. But standards, you hold your standards, you know what I mean? That'll protect you. It really will. Okay? I'm happy for Venus too. I'm happy for the Venus sisters. You know, Serena and Venus Williams, you know, amazing women, amazing athletes. You know, tennis will never be the same once they came into tennis. And they did extremely awesome, best in the world. And what was beautiful is they're living their life. Okay? And, you know, and I love seeing Venus and Serena, you know, back when they're playing tennis, when they're both at their prime, both competing at Wimbledon over and over. Man, I love that. Because you see black women just, you know, killing it, you know, doing it, top of the world. And then they're representing America too, and that's awesome. You know, I love that. You know, I was never really into tennis till the Williams sisters got there, and man, I was into it. I loved it. You know, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. I hope you guys enjoyed this live. And look, don't be afraid to open up your options, okay? But you need to vet, but more importantly, you need to have your standards, okay? Do not compromise your standards, okay? But anyway, you know, get to know who you're with, okay? Men, don't be afraid to approach black women, okay? If you don't take your shot, you have 100% failure rate. Just remember that. Don't be a failure because you're afraid. Okay? Now you're going to get turned down. It's okay. We all get turned down. Okay? Don't be afraid of rejection. Rejection's part of life. Have the courage to step up. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to say a prayer and then I'm going to close this out. Lord, thank you so much for the show tonight. Thank you so much for everybody that came up here tonight, Lord. I pray you bless everybody tonight, Lord. And I pray that, you know, that this show people can learn from other people's mistakes, Lord. And I pray that our marriage rates go up. I pray that we have more successful marriages, stronger families, Lord. Whether people are marrying within their racial group or opening up their options, I just pray that marriages get better. And I pray, Lord, that we could get away from the lust and that we can find love the right way. Lord, I pray that we not only have the courage to open up our options, but have the courage to swirl. And not just to swirl, but to swirl to investment, Lord. Please help us to do this. Please help us to be strong and be a good example to one another. Lord, and those of us that have opened up our options and are with black women, dating them, married to black women, Lord, I pray that you give us the wisdom and the courage to do what's right and stand up for our wives, Lord. And give us the courage to stand up for the black woman and love her and respect her the way we should, Lord. And to tell the world the truth. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed tonight's live. If you're ever wondering why I wear what I wear, I just change it up. When I wear my hockey jerseys, that was my idea. You see the picture of me in the white jacket, blue shirt. That was my wife's idea. She likes those colors. She likes when I wear that. So she thought it was a good idea to do it on the channel. A lot of the ideas of what I wear comes from my wife. She does have an impact on, this channel. I do pick the topics, but how I dress and some of the stuff I wear is her idea. The background, my wife helped me design that, and I'm probably going to change it up. I got a new desk I got to put in here and stuff. Doing some renovations I've been doing forever, but I'll get it done sooner or later. But my wife is a big part of this channel, guys, and she supports me in everything I do, even though she don't come on all the time, once in a blue moon. But behind the scenes, she's here home with me tonight. She's watching me now, and sometimes she'll be standing right in front of you where you can't see her, and just watching me, and just tells me she loves me, without people hearing. So, but my wife is a big part of this channel, and and I love doing this. This is my passion. Okay, I don't make a lot of money at all. I'll be lucky if I get $50 a month. It's not a lot of money, and I don't do it for money. I do it because I love doing it. I want to be a blessing to people. I want people to not be afraid to open up their options. I want people to have the courage to love who they love. And, I share my story because what people are going through in interracial relationships, I've been through it. Okay. And just think about it. Back in the day when I was doing it, it's harder than it is today. As we go further, it gets a little easier. I mean, the Lovings, they went through hell compared to what me and my wife went through, right? But it was easier for us because we're the next generation. And then the younger people opening up their options now, they don't have it as hard as me and my wife had it. Okay, yeah, there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be racism and crap going on. But you get through it. As long as you put who you love above your problems, you love your wife more than your problems, you love your husband more than your problems, you're going to make it through. Okay? But remember, we're flawed. We have our issues. Okay? A marriage is not perfect. Okay? And I'm telling you, and let me tell you, this is the honest to God truth. Okay? Now, when you get married and you're in the honeymoon phase and you love each other, you're loving on each other, you're making love, it's all great, right? Wonderful. You're with the one you love, right? But see, where the true love comes in is not when you're in the clouds living that dream, loving on each other. The true love comes with the nightmare. When you're not up in the clouds, when you're down in the mud, when things ain't going good. When you're holding your wife's hand or husband's hand in the emergency room and it's uncertain, you don't know what's going to happen. When you're in the military and you're deployed and there's uncertainty. When you almost lose your wife giving childbirth. When you almost lose your life because you got a tumor. That's where the true love is. It's when you grow old together and you still love each other just like you did when you first got married. That's where the true love is. True love is when you're in the mud and when you're in the nightmare, not when you're in the dream in the clouds. Okay? And a lot of people, we do good when we're loving on each other. We do good in the honeymoon phase. But what makes a marriage last is how you handle yourself when you're in the mud, when the uncertainty's there. Then you find out how much you really love each other. I used to do some work. I did some landscaping work back in the day. And I was doing it in this neighborhood. And it was an older neighborhood. It was a nice neighborhood. Very nice. But there was an elderly couple. Okay? And the guy, he's like in his 70s, and his wife, about the same age. His wife had what's that called? Dementia, right? And she would wander off. And this poor guy, he's up in age and he's trying to take care of his wife, and it's heartbreaking. And they've been married for so many years, love each other. But her mind was going. She was like a little girl, you might say. And she wandered off. She went to this one yard where these people had this flower garden. She's sitting in the middle of the flower garden, okay, and picking these flowers. The people came out of the house. They were pissed off because she's pulling the flowers out of their garden. And the guy came running up. He said, "I'm so sorry. I'll pay whatever. My wife's got dementia. She don't know what she's doing." And I mean, he was breaking down. And the people are like, "Oh, okay, no problem." And his wife looked up at him. And she had these flowers, and she's like, I picked these for you. And it was like, that's where the true love is. See, because some people would leave that situation because it's uncomfortable. But this man's stuck with his wife. And I'm telling you, that's where the true love is. And we're sitting there watching this. Oh my God, I got all, I mean, it was an emotional thing because you can see the love he had for her. And you can see the love she had for him, but her mind was going. She's like a little girl picking flowers for her husband. Like it was, her mind was like a little girl, but she's, an elderly woman. And I'll tell you another thing. My father, I shared my story. My parents were teenagers when I was born, but that marriage didn't work out. But my father raised me, and my mom let me be with my father. And my dad married my stepmother when I was 3 years old, right? So it's like I had two mothers, right? And my stepmother, a few years back, she had diabetes, right? She got like at 30, I think, and it took its toll. And she got to so weak. My father had to take care of her like a toddler. I mean, and my father, I mean, for like 3 years, he didn't even sleep. And my father was a paramedic, so he could take care. He watched her blood sugar and could monitor it. And, he was like her caretaker. And there was never a complaint. There was never. He just embraced the time he had with his wife as long as he could. Tell you, they were in the mud. He didn't know how long he was going to have his wife. And it was sad. But see, that's true love. See, we think the love is when we're loving at each other and we're happy, healthy, and young. But really, it's how you handle the turmoil, how you handle the uncertainty. Because when we say those vows for better or worse, do you really mean it? Do you really love your wife that much? The ones that do, their marriages will last. The ones that live in the convenience of the time won't. But anyway, I better stop. I'll get off into all kinds of things. But I've seen true love displayed right in front of my eyes. And I've seen people that don't have true love. I've seen elderly men leave their wives to be with a younger woman because they have a midlife crisis and want to see, I guess, if they still have it. That's not love. Love is when you stick with your wife, your husband, through thick and thin, no matter what. Anyway, guys, let me go ahead and close. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. But I just wanted you to see these videos where other people are coming from and the mistakes they're doing. When you open up your options, okay, don't do it for lust, okay? Do it because you love that person. The physical part comes with marriage. If you do it that way, you'll be so much better off. And then when you have, your sexual time, it will mean something. Because you truly love each other, your husband and wife. Marriage done the right way is protection. God honors marriage. And he will protect you from diseases. He'll protect you from heartbreak. Okay? But you got to have two people that love each other for it to work. That's why vetting is important. That's why your standards are very important. Because you make a mistake on who you choose, that can affect your life. In fact, it will. But if you choose right, it'll affect your life in a positive way. Okay? So, so just speaking to young people, don't get caught up in these groups. And I know some of these white women, they love black men, so they think that, gassing them up with all this stuff and telling them that they think that they're, doing good for them, which in reality, they're disrespecting them, really. Because, they're just saying it's just a lust thing. But we can learn from that. And if you see a man acting that way, because a man that loves you will be focused on you, not in the group he came from, not in the community he came from. It'll be all about you, and that's what you want. And same things, guys. If you're with a black woman that loves you like no other and focused on you, you're blessed. But if all she does is talk about her last boyfriend, Dante, and how he didn't do right, and he's with some girl doing this and that, and then she probably don't really love you. You're just there for convenience. Okay? Anyway, but just observations. Okay? You guys have a good night. God bless. I'll see you guys next Saturday for sure. I might drop a couple videos. During the week, I might have another live. We'll see. I'm just getting over a cold. My wife has got the sniffles a little bit, so I'm gonna be taking care of her during the week, and I got some time off coming. I want to spend with my wife, and so I probably won't do nothing till Saturday. If I do anything, it'll be a video, but I will have a show Saturday. Okay. And like I said, if you want me to do anything, a certain topic, email me, talk to me. If you want to be part of my show, okay, send me an email, okay, and we'll talk about it. We'll do what you call it. We'll do a video meeting, a private video meeting. We'll talk about whatever topic you want to talk about, So if you're interested in that, I know sometimes once in a while somebody will reach out to me and want to do a video with me or live. Video shorts, yes, I will start doing that. I'm sorry. I got so much material. I can make shorts. I want to work on that. I do need to straighten up my channel a little bit because I got videos of all kinds of things going everywhere. I probably need to organize it so people can watch whatever certain video, but I will be doing shorts, and I will be doing that and putting it on TikTok. I'll be doing more TikTok stuff too. If you guys don't know, I do have a TikTok channel. It's Roadrunner 89 Network. Okay, over on TikTok. And I got some videos over there. So you can follow me over there if you want. If you have a TikTok channel, let me know what it is. And I'll support you. If you have a YouTube channel, let me know. Okay? I don't mind anybody promoting their channel here as long as it's a good channel. Now, you know what I mean? But I have no problem promoting other people or helping you out if you want to start a YouTube channel. I've helped people in the past and, helped them do their videos and stuff and give them advice. I'm not the best channel. I mean, I'm an average channel, but I love doing it. But if anybody ever thinks about doing that, reach out to me. Let me know. I will do a prayer meeting coming up sometime. Gosh, I got to do one. Haven't done one in a while. But my emails, out there in the description box, my email's there. Anything you need, just email me. Okay? I will get back to you. It might take 2 or 3 days because I get busy during the week, but at the end of the week, I will get to it. Okay. But anyway, guys, you have a good night. God bless you and your families. And just take what I showed and learn from it. Okay. You might not agree with everything I said, or that's fine. I'm not here to make you agree with everything. I'm just here to show you some things and you make your decision. Okay. And YouTube's a beautiful thing because we can learn from it. Behavior patterns. Okay. We're in the swirl. A lot of us have taken our swirl to investment, interracial relationships, and a lot of us like to share that with other people and kind of give them a heads up on the red flags that go by. And, and maybe they can get a blessing from it, or it can help them out. And if nothing else, just be entertained and have fun, right? But anyway, have a good night. God bless you and your families. I'll see you guys next Saturday. Okay, just keep an eye out for my videos. I will do some shorts. I'll work on that. Okay, I that's where I'm lacking on my channel. I need to do more shorts. Okay, but anyway, guys, have a good night. God bless. I'll see you soon. Have a good night.